Hey, what's up traders and investors? It's Trend Trader here. Welcome back to the Trend Trader channel. We hope that for the past week or 2 weeks, you've had a great time in the market. We saw some nice profit on some of the stocks that we covered. Those include PPC, ArcelorMittal, among others. So today, we're also going to be touching on 3 stocks. These stocks have a promising growth in terms of technicals. So we'll be adding these 3 stocks into our portfolio and holding them for as long as they are trading above our entry level. Remember, we only exit our stocks once our stop level is hit. We always use a stop loss. We don't trade without a stop loss. So yeah, let's look into those companies. Remember, these companies, we only choose them based on their technicals. We don't cover a lot of fundamentals, even though from time to time we will touch a bit on the fundamentals. But the stock picking on its own, it's purely on a technical basis. So we touch on fundamentals for those people who are interested in knowing what the business does and stuff like that. So okay, let's just dive into the charts. So the first stock that we are looking at is EOH. For those who don't know, EOH is an ICT company that involved in ICT business. So the stock took a beating because there was some reports, corruption allegations. Whether they were proven true or false, we don't know that. But for quite some time, as you can see, EOH, it has been on a downtrend, coming back all the way from, it fell from grace from 170 rand per share up until now. It traded just below 2 rands per share. Yeah, so that's what happens if you are corrupt. There are some ways that they can deal with you. So now EOH bottomed somewhere around 2 rand 20 per share, and then started to try and trade again on the upside, as we saw that there was this move somewhere around the 5th of June 2020, but that move failed spectacularly, and then it has been trading sideways until it started to attempt to trade above this level around the 4th of December 2020. So far the level that was somewhere a resistance around 7 rand per share is now becoming a support level. Let's just draw this here. So this level now is no longer a resistance level. It has now become a support level. So now when we saw that EOH came back to this resistance level around 10 rand per share, it couldn't break above it, and then it came back to the range touching about 6 rand 50 per share, and then it found support there. So at this moment it's still attempting to go back all the way above 10 rand per share. So what we like to see from EOH at this moment, we want to see EOH breaking above the 10 rand per share level, and if it does break that level, then we will expect EOH to continue to trade on the upside. So what we want to see is EOH coming to this level, consolidating a bit, and then finding a bit of strength from the buyers, breaking above this level. And then if it does break above, as with the other stocks that we've covered before, it's going to retrace back to this level. So if you miss the breakout, you can always buy the retest level, and then we expect the stock to continue to trade high. But as of today, we are bullish on EOH. In fact, you already have a position we bought when it broke above this level. But for those who missed that entry, the other entry position or entry level would have been somewhere again when it retested this level. If you missed both these buy levels, then it's better to just wait to see if the stock is going to trade above 10 rand per share, and then if it does, then you can buy the breakout there and hold it. The level of interest that we'll be looking at, should it break above the 10 rand per share, we'll be looking at this level, because that's the next resistance level, and this level is somewhere around 16 rand per share. Ultimately, we want to see it coming to retest this level around 25 rand per share. So as you can see, the stock has a more upside. So if it does break above this level, there's a possibility that the stock will trade from 10 rand per share to 15 rand per share. Eventually, there's a possibility that it can reach 25 rand per share. So this is the stock that we are looking at this week. And then the other stock that we have interest on, let me first remove all of this. The other stock that we have an interest on, it's Netcare. So on Twitter, we've been posting some charts, including the index of the healthcare sector. So we've been bullish on some of the healthcare stocks, including Life Healthcare, Netcare, and Mediclinic. But the other ones are not moving the way that we would like to see them move. So our focal point now is on Netcare, and we already have a position on that one. But let me show you why we have a position on that. So as you can see, Netcare has been trading on a downtrend, and then it bottomed somewhere around 11 rand 34 cent per share. So this level around 12 rand 30 has been a resistance level, but the stock managed to broke above this level. So this whole area here can be taken as an area of value. So when the stock started to trade above 13 rand per share, then it got our interest, because now it showed that it was able to break above this level here, around 12 rand per share. And as you can see, it has never, ever since started to trade above 12 rand per share, it never came back from it. And that's what we want to see. If the stock is strong enough, we want to see it break away from the certain resistance level and move all the way up. So those are the characteristics of a strong stocks, the stocks that are more likely to outperform the market. So when the stock came to break above this 13 rand region, as you can see, it break out, then came back to retest, and then it attempted to break above that 16 rand level. But there went a lot of buyers, and then the stock came back, it retraced back to this breakout level, made another attempt. As you can see now, it's going to be on the third attempt to break above this 16 rand region. But the difference now is that you see this was the low, and then this low was higher than this low, and this recent low is higher than this low, and now it's coming here. Well, we are not expert in terms of the chart patterns, but if you see a stock forming lower highs near the level of resistance, that sort of it shows that there are more buyers than sellers for that stock. So the next thing that might happen, it's not something that will happen, it's something that might happen, is that we'll see the stock breaking above this 15 rand 16 rand level, and then trade all the way up. So if it does that, the next level of interest is somewhere here around this level. So that's somewhere about 17 rand to 18 rand per share. And then eventually we want to see the stock at these levels between 20 rand and 21 rand per share. So with all the stocks that we want to trade, we look at all the potential resistance and support levels, and then we wait and see if the stock, how it reacts when it reaches that level. If there is a resistance level, the stock breaks above that resistance, we want to buy that stock. If there is a support level, the stocks come back to that support, and it does not find support, it breaks lower. If you already have a position, we exit that position. At this moment, we are not shorting stocks. We used to short stocks before, but we've stopped playing that dangerous game. We can short anything but stocks, because the movements of shorting stocks is a bit quicker compared to indices and maybe forex. Well, we haven't shorted cryptocurrency as yet. So this is how we want to be playing Netcare. We are waiting for it. We already have a position, but if it breaks above the 15 rand 16 rand level, then we will be adding onto our existing position. So the final stock that we're gonna be looking at is Remgro. We spoke about Remgro in the social media groups where we are. Specifically on Facebook, we posted a chart there. But what is interesting with Remgro is this formation of a cup and handle. For those who are familiar with what do you call this, technical patterns, an inverse cup, okay, it's not an inverse, it's a cup and handle. This is a bullish signal. So what happens is that if the stock breaks above the neckline of the cup and handle, there's a possibility that the stock is going to continue to trade higher. So what we see with Remgro, okay, let's just give a brief background on Remgro. Remgro is a holding group. It is owned by Johann Rupert. Okay, fine, maybe he may say he's not owning the company, but it's one of the companies that he owns. It's a holding group. It has a lot of subsidiaries under its umbrella. These include F.I.R.E. There is Mediclinic there. For those who are familiar with chemistry, there is a product. That is where most labs buy their gases. They also, one of their subsidiaries is Blue Bulls, if you support rugby, but they're also involved in Stellenbosch FC. I don't know if Stellenbosch is still in the multi-choice DSTV soccer league. I'm not a soccer fan, but it's a holding group. Most of the underlying companies are doing great. We have a position on F.I.R.E. As we mentioned, that we're bullish on the health care sector, even though we didn't buy a Mediclinic, but Mediclinic is part of Remgro. And then, yeah, there are a lot of companies. RCL is also showing a bit of a recovery there. So they really have a nice stocks in their umbrella. So let's go back to the chart. So as you can see, Remgro formed this nice cup and handle, and then it broke above this neckline, which was somewhere around 110 rand per share. So now it's moving up. Okay, whenever a stock has a gap, there are people who believe that the gap must be filled. The gap, it's not a must that the gap is going to be filled. It can happen, it cannot happen. In this case, the stock gapped down, and now if it's back on an uptrend, automatically it will close that gap. But don't say that when you see a gap and think that the stock must close this gap. For example, this gap happened somewhere around in June 2020. So if you've been waiting for this gap to close, you almost waited a year. So we don't like dead money that is sitting there and not making money. The only time we want to put our money in the stock, we want to put our money in a moving stock, because that's the only way you're going to make money in the stock market. In the stock or buying stocks that are trending upwards, not buying stocks that are trending downwards or that are moving sideways. It's just a waste of time, and as we know, time is money. So now Remgro broke above this neckline, and now what we see is that we are waiting for Remgro to come around this 120 rand per share level, which will be the top of this breakdown, and then we want to see Remgro to fill this gap. So for Remgro to fill this gap, it will be a move from 120 rand per share to about 135 rand per share. So if you have a position there, that position will already be profitable. But the ultimate medium-term target that we're looking at is 150 rand per share. So as you can see here, this stock, even if you buy at this level and maybe have a stop level just below here, the stock is offering a reasonable risk to reward. As you know, we always recommend that you buy stocks near an area of value and buy stocks that have a reasonable risk to reward, because I mean, risk to reward basically is just saying, is the juice worth the squeeze? You don't want to risk 1 rand only to make 20 cents. If you risk 1 rand, at least you should get about 3 rands all the way to 5 rands and even more. So those are the good trades that you should be looking at. So yeah, to sum things up, the 3 stocks that we are looking at is EOH, and then it's Netcare, and then the final one that we're looking at is Remgro. We believe that in terms of technicals, these stocks are setting up nicely. So we'll see how long it will take for each stock to reach its short-term or short to medium-term target. But as we said in the beginning, for as long as our stop level is not hit, then we are holding those stocks. We are happy to hold. we do not exit a position if the stock level is not hit. I mean, if it's a bull market, we are not implying that we are in the bull market, although we have a lot of videos where we implied that we are bullish on some sector, specifically the property sector, the banking sector, and also we touched a bit on the retail sector. If we are in a bull market, you don't want to exit a stock because you will just miss that bull run. What you want to do is to manage that position accordingly. If you are familiar with position sizing, then you will adjust your position accordingly so that the risk that you are taking is worth it. You don't want to take too much risk, but at the same time you don't want to take less risk, because I mean, if you put, let's say, 100 rand in a stock, unless 100 rand is the only amount that you have to invest. But if you put 100 rand, if the stock goes to 100% up, you're just going to make 100 rand. But if you can do position sizing, you can make a lot of money there, because we're not looking at it in terms of the stock doubling or tripling. We're just looking at it in terms of the R concept. For some people are familiar with the R concept, don't worry. If you're not familiar with the R concept, just check the description there. We've got the course on Gumroad. It's selling for $8. You can also get the course on AnyCheckout. It's selling for 30 rands. I mean, imagine, it explains everything that we do in this channel. The rules that we use to select stocks that you're going to invest on. For a mere 30 rand, you can just get those set of rules on AnyCheckout. Just make sure that you use the link AnyCheckout. But if you want that small ebook, including the videos on how we use the stock screener and how we chart and everything, then you rather go to the Gumroad course, because there at that $8, I mean $8, the difference is about 50 rand between having videos and not having videos. So we believe that it's valuable, so that difference should be insignificant for the amount of value that you're going to derive from that course. So if you are really interested in technical analysis, just check the description there and then go to either AnyCheckout or you can go to Gumroad. And if you still struggle to follow those ebooks and you want to have a one-on-one session with me, then you can go to Fiverr there and book a session. I think the premium package, because the US dollar rand exchange rate has been doing well for the South African rand, probably now that cost it's somewhere around 308 rand per share. That will give you a couple of hours with me on a Zoom webinar discussing the market, teaching you how to use technical analysis. It will be beneficial. We always say to people, you should not think about the amount that you are paying to get the course. You should think about the value that you're going to derive from that course. So even if that course was 400 rand, think about the amount of money that you'll make in future using systematic trend following. So if you think like that, you will realize that 400 rand really is not a lot of money. We've been sharing videos. If you've been following this channel, you saw that most of the stocks that we spoke about, they are profitable. So I mean, if you have, let's just say, 10,000 rand investment account and you put at least 1,000 rand per position, by now you would be up way over 4,000 rand. So imagine paying 400 rand to learn how to trade using technical analysis or systematic trend following, and you making 4,000 rand. That's like a tenfold increase. So we believe that it's worth it, not because it's our cost, but it's because it's there, it's working. But obviously you still have the choice to subscribe to this channel and click on the bell icon so that every time we post a video, then you can be able to follow through. But as we said, if you want more information on technical analysis, it will be worthwhile to check the links in the description below and choose the package that you think is suited for you. AnyCheckout, it's 30 rand. Gumroad, it's about $8. Then on Fiverr, the full package, it starts from 150, and then the full package, it goes to about 360, 380 rand, depending on the South African rand US dollar exchange rate. So we hope that this video will help you. You will be able to look into these three stocks, EOH, Netcare and Remgro, and then do your own research and see if what we're saying fits your narrative, and then be able to make an investment or trading decision based on this technical analysis and what you did on your own. So yeah, we will see you on the next video. We don't know what we'll be analyzing on the next video, but we will see you on the next video. And again, if you have subscribed, thank you. If you haven't subscribed, please click the subscribe button, and to make sure that you don't miss any of the videos that we'll be putting up in future, just click that bell icon, then so that every time when you post a video, you can be able to see what you're putting in there. Cheers.